So now comes the hack harassments for talking about the cops and their stupid admitting to being sociopath stuff. See, what they're used to is a world previously that would have probably either a little time out of the app. Previously, probably would have prevented the whole upload or something in the past. And so that's been fixed. And so that probably gets in the way of some of their, see, they have a world that, if you can't post it or something, then it's not true. And so in the past, they would prevent videos like a Silk Road would do. And that is where they like to psychologically torture somebody in a hacker way. See, the stuff that I'm talking about is important information that you all are harassing me in a psychological way. And you guys are trying to build some sort of like right now, they'll all be sitting there expecting me to be admitting to all of their crimes and shit. Right? That then normally they would just be like, see, I didn't dark web my stuff, I didn't jailbreak none of my stuff. And that they would just be, basically they're sitting there with a hack lawyer. And that they expect, they pretty much want to prevent all uploads until I admit to their crimes or something like that. And so that's where they want to shut down my ability of talking about my investigation. And that they live in a whole stupid fucking world where they seem to think that their little regional drug metro has some authority over people presenting their journalism and shit. See, they think that, their whole world attempts to isolate all the investigation, and then they think that journalists shouldn't be allowed to because of their opinion. All right? See, this is what they don't understand. When the government does an investigation, that doesn't restrict the press from doing journalism on anything. Just because you stumble upon somebody who understands what this stuff is a little bit more than a bunch of journalists other places, that doesn't make any difference. This is why the government likes me. Because in the end, I know that these major news outlets and stuff, I know that they have a bunch of information, and that then they just don't necessarily know the intelligence aspects to everything. And I know that stuff. And see, just because you guys do fake investigations in a dark web doesn't make what you guys do any clearance or nothing. See, you guys don't investigate anything. You guys just cover up stuff and you guys prevent information in the Silk Road way. And that none of you were able to prevent me from putting any of this stuff up. So just because you guys have a psych-opt isolated little fucking world, the regular government doesn't prevent journalists from uploading what they find and what investigation stuff they find. Okay? You know what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to get these journalists that essentially would have gone on the dark web, and then they would have been in a boredom way, they would have started doing Glassnost elitist journalism knock or something. I'm trying to get them to come out of the woodwork. If they can't publish it in their newspaper for whatever editor reasons, I'm trying to get those reporters to at least make here's this stuff I found, I wonder about this. Here's this stuff I found, I wonder about this. Here's this stuff I found, in the form of demonstration. And that then I was trying to get them to do something a little cooler, with art with it. And so, and then to be just posting it. You know what? Some of those reporters might be able to build like a following, so to speak. And then people might click on their articles more often. And then the news organizations might get more hits. And that they could potentially use the Tubans for Facebook Live. Basically. And so that's like where it could be an ability to build promotion for their regular news company, and that the editor should think about that, because essentially it's like, I understand that they like to, before they have like a news article or whatever, I understand that it goes through some pretty strict stuff to get a news article about this type of stuff. I know that. But see, the whole idea is that there's potentials for them doing the art journalism demonstration of like, I found this. This is what it seemed like. Here's what these weird people were saying, and blah, blah, blah. Maybe people out in public can comment. And you see that if you get like some decent journalists that do investigative journalism in your news corporation, you might be able to. I mean, this is like where my thought was like, since Vice seemed like the kind of company that would like this idea, because those dudes, they seem to have news articles that in lots of ways start to press upon some of this stuff that most news organizations are like kind of confused about and stuff. And so I see that the types of investigations that they do sometimes, they may not understand the overall broad macro aspects to it, but they seem to have certain news articles that end up being stuff that these other news stations probably would have found information on, but that these Vice people seem to find some stuff that's related to an overall, and they seem to find little itty bitty like little news article investigations here and there that relate to a whole macro system that they may not know about, but they seem to make it a little further than some of these other news organizations, okay? And so that was my thought about the demonstration stuff. And so basically, when people attempt to filter and to silence anybody talking about this stuff, the Silk Road did the same thing with those dumb cops. See, this theory about silencing journalists because you're doing a sheriff's investigation, well, I want the FBI agent around here to explain why he was doing that that was his theory with his FBI investigations and shit. And that those people know that they're not allowed to do that. And so this is what happens when you guys isolate yourselves to these dark webs like this. You people have whole procedures that are literally built for like communist Russia and shit. That stuff doesn't work here in the United States. See, the things that come out of your guys' mouth, you people may not realize that your police captains and your sheriffs are gonna walk back. They know that they're not allowed to do that. And that when you cops and shit start espousing that stuff more blatantly nowadays. So, and that then when you guys are like trying to psych up corporations and shit like that shit, so fucking illegal. You're not allowed to do that stuff.